Welcome back to Ravens Today. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'm giving you any and all things Ravens, news-wise and content-wise. Let's dive into a more in-depth analysis of the schedule. Weeks 1 through 6, pretty straightforward. It's a gauntlet. Straight up gauntlet. I called it yesterday, by the way. Week 1 will be at the Bills' first Sunday night football game of the season. Love the fact that we get the first Sunday night football game of the season. It's against the Bills. I think the Ravens are obviously going to win this one just because the Bills always start out a little bit slower. And the NFL just wants to have that rematch from the divisional playoff round loss. Last season... All right, let's go for it. And then week 2, we got the Browns. Joe Flacco homecoming. Browns at home. So pretty much this is going to be a Joe Flacco welcome back. We'll send you off into the sunset type of thing. A proper send-off for him. We'll win. We'll beat the Browns. I mean, it's pretty inevitable at this point. They don't have a standard quarterback. Week 3, we got the Lions going at home. Monday Night Football game. I think this is a win because we've won against the last matchups pretty soundly against the Lions. So no real trouble there. I think that the Ravens will always have the Lions number. Week 4 at the Chiefs. Hopefully not by a toe, but looking for a win out of this one. But I think that there's going to be some scrutiny behind it. Not related to the actual gameplay. Just think of outside sources. We all know who I'm talking about. Week 5 against the Texans, also a great matchup. I think the Ravens will take this one. Then week 6, the Rams. Could go either way. Worst case scenario, we go 4-2 to start off the season before the bye. Best case, we're undefeated. I think we'll go... I think we'll be able to go 5-1. One loss being to the Chiefs, or one to, I'll throw this hat in there, the Texans. Like something crazy happens. The Ravens versus the Ravens. The Ravens always trying to beat themselves. But that's my analysis of the week 1 through 6 matchups. Just a straight up gauntlet. The Ravens have done this before. They can definitely do it again. Just go down the gauntlet and beat these teams in a row. Next up, we got the bye week, week 7 bye week. I'm not really happy with this, where this bye week is, because it's a little early. It could be worse. The Lions had week 4 as their bye week last season. We could have a week 4 bye week. That is just straight up awful. Week 7 isn't terrible. I would much rather prefer like a week 10, week 11 bye. That is perfect. You know, almost midpoint of the season. Week 7's a little too early, but you know, we deal with the cards we have. So let's just get that bye week, and hopefully we can just go down a gauntlet, no injuries at all, knock on wood, and just play our games and win those games after the bye. Again, don't like this bye week, but again, could be a lot worse. Moving on, we got week 8 through 12. It's not too hard. Let's be honest here. We got the Bears at home. Then we got the Dolphins, Thursday Night Football at home. We're at the Vikings week 10. Week 11, we have the Jets. Could be something else, you know. I mean, let's just throw it out there. There might be a loss or two of the Ravens, because this is definitely as Ravens fans know, the Ravens tend to beat themselves. And I mean, of course, you know, anything could happen. Jets now have Justin Fields, who, when he had the playing time with the Steelers, did well. So we'll see what happens. I still think the Ravens take that game. This stretch of the schedule isn't too hard. I think we could take all of these teams soundly. But we'll see. Again, this is a way too early prediction. But it shouldn't be a problem with the talent the Ravens have, with the coaching staff they have. It always ends up being Ravens versus Ravens. Maybe like a shocking loss to the Vikings could happen, but I'm not predicting anything, and like let's just keep keep the ball rolling here. By the way, the Ravens have no international games this regular season, and they don't play on Christmas for the first time in 2 years, 2 seasons, but which is great. We don't have to travel as much, and we don't. And the Ravens players can finally celebrate Christmas properly. So this is awesome. This is great. They are now like one of the, I think they're third or fourth fewest miles traveled this season, or they're going to travel this season. So this is great. I love this for them, and they finally get a break at that time. All right, moving on, week 13 through 18. Here's the next, gauntlet, man. This is another gauntlet. Week 13, Bengals, Thursday Night Football, Thanksgiving game. Love this. Absolutely love this. Want to know why? Because Bengals and Ravens always, when the teams are healthy, always put a banger on. Last season it was just a shootout. Every game that the Bengals and Ravens had, just a complete shootout. Fantasy wise, if you have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow against the Ravens, it's game over. But we did have Brandon Stevens last year. I don't know why he was ever matched up against Jamar Chase. So that'll change this season. Thank God. We'll have Nate Wiggins on Jamar Chase. He'll do a lot better than Stevens. But anyway, Thanksgiving game, Thursday night. Love this matchup at home. The bank is going to be rocking. It's going to be deafening. There's no way Joe Burrow is going to be able to hear his own plays. Week 14, we got the Steelers. Don't know what their quarterback situation is, but we always lose one to Mike Tomlin. And I feel like this won't be the one. Not at home. I don't want it to be at home. Mike Tomlin will get his one. That'll be later, but not at home. I just want this to be a clean win like it was the last in their regular season finale last season. Next up, we have the Bengals again in Ohio. Another shootout. I just think this is going to be, these two teams always ball out against each other. It's like it's a fantasy team galore. If you have Lamar, you have Derrick Henry, you have Jamar Chase, you have Joe Burrow. Just fantasy galore. There's going to be so many points given around. I'm just from a fantasy football perspective, But either way, these two teams know how to, just ball out against each other. Still think the Ravens will beat them in both games. Week 16 against the Patriots at home. Interesting matchup. Patriots are in a rebuild right now, so I guess we'll see what happens there. No real problem there, though. Week 17 at the Packers, another tough matchup for the Ravens. Still think the Ravens take this pretty soundly. Week 18 at Steelers. I think this is the one loss that we're going to have in that gauntlet from week 13 to week 18. We still don't know, by the way, what time the Packers and Steelers games are going to be. That's going to be determined later on when the season is rolling. But I still think that this, no matter what time it's going to be at, the Ravens are going to lose this game. I want them to win. Don't get me wrong. It just always happens. Mike Tomlin gets one. He gets one. I mean, it just happens. I'm just speaking from a person who is being realistic. I want them to win, obviously. I want them to destroy them. They don't have a quarterback. I don't know. Who is it? Mason Rudolph? I don't know. But this is the way that it always happens. We don't know why. It always ends up being Ravens versus Ravens. But I am just hoping for a win here. But that's just the one loss. So, my prediction, it's too early, is that the Ravens do end up going, 16-2 at this point, or 17-1. It really doesn't play out this way. I think that the Ravens will lose at least one or two games this season. I think they'll be over 11 wins. That's my prediction. Over 11 wins. I will stamp that right now. They will win, but they will win the AFC North again. I mean, got to keep the crown, and I think here's a really bold take here with this schedule. Too early again. They get the number one seed in the AFC locked down. They will get that bye week. Again, too early to tell, but that's my prediction. Thank you for tuning in to the Ravens Today Show. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Please make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment down below on any disagreements you have with this schedule. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you all later.